real thing I have ever experienced in my life. I got fired from working at Red Robin for doing that. When do we get to bury him in a thing and jerk off on him, though? I'd say I can take on 3 11-year-olds. And he clicks the button, and he's just this woman cussing him the fuck out. This is the weirdest theory I've ever heard in my entire life. Well, in a lot of ways, Big Boy's never left. I agree. He will tell you I'm a bad driver, but there's no evidence for that. I have intuition and I believe in this. Dude, people fall for absolute monsters on a regular basis.
Hello, welcome to the Two Hippies, One Drunk podcast. I'm your host this week, Scott. Right here we got Tyler, and Eric.
Hello.
Yeah, and we got some promotions going on right now, so check those out. We got a promotion right now where if you give us 5 stars on iTunes and review us, we will, and send us a screenshot of that, we will put you in a drawing to win either 2 of Tyler's original art pieces or an hour-long tarot reading for me. So, and we've had people take us up on that. It's been really good. So, yeah, please do that. It helps us out a bunch, and it's a great deal. So, yeah, this week, kind of wanted to kick it off. It's October. Figured I'd do something a little bit Halloween oriented or whatever.
Yeah.
And that
Thriller playing in the background really set the mood.
yeah.
Thriller, like in Michael Jackson Thriller?
Oh yeah, that's a Halloween thing, right?
Is it a Halloween song? Thriller is a Halloween.
I mean, it's about a werewolf.
I guess if Die Hard can be a Christmas movie,
It's
then
about Thriller. What?
No. What is Thriller if not a Halloween song?
Yeah.
yeah, I guess you're right. I guess.
A hell of a hit, but other than that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I don't know. It's you know what? I was thinking of, for some reason you said Thriller. Well, dude, when I worked at Meyer, dude, that's the thing. When I worked at Meyer, you know, they do the seasonal songs, right? You know, and Christmas has the big ones. Obviously, Christmas is the easiest. And there's certain other ones. And they would try to do Halloween. And I think all they had was like the X-Files theme song, Ghostbusters, and like
what a weird song to play at a fucking Walmart or Meyer.
It was
like creepy.
Yeah.
It was odd, dude. Especially because like I was working for a while. I was working midnights. And sometimes, dude, I'd be going back to the bathroom at like 2 a.m. and it'd be like doo doo doo. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
But I think
this was still well after X-Files too. Right?
Oh yeah, this would have been
2010s, right?
Yeah, this would have been like 2007.
Yeah.
So I think they had X-Files, they had Ghostbusters, and I think like the Addams Family, and I'm trying to think of like one other song. So like they had like 4 or 5 because there's not that many Halloween songs. The Monster Mash, I guess.
Yeah, this is Halloween from Nightmare Before Christmas. That's definitely a Halloween.
Yeah, that might have been. I don't remember if it was on there or not, but I know
heard
they
anything from Nightmare Before.
Scary.
I've never heard anything from Nightmare Before Christmas though. Played at a store.
Yeah, I don't remember if it made it to the store or not.
That song at a Walmart before.
But I just remember that there was only like 6, and they just kept repeating them. And like Christmas is bad. I mean, I get it, but Christmas, there's 100 Christmas songs that they can play in a Meyer.
At least you could pick a bunch of them.
Okay, like, so I'm going to be talking about the 7 Princes of Hell, but we'll get in 1 second. I want to say this because we were talking about this with Michael Jackson. Like, I feel like, man, we need another innovator like that. Like, who else is fucking doing? Like, this dude was at the top of his popularity. He was extremely famous, and he was like, "I'm gonna fucking make a Halloween song."
That is one of my most famous songs ever.
Yeah, like you don't get that anymore. Now it's all like one of a handful of things. It's like partying.
Yeah.
Or it's on a CD specially for holidays. Like you have a holiday CD.
And then it's just them doing covers.
Yep.
Right.
Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas.
Yeah, you're not making original Halloween song content in your album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, these days, it's just so hard, I think, also because like social media, is awesome and it can also be terrible. And it's like, I think the problem is like, social media in a way doesn't really promote being different. It kind of does, but really within boundaries. Like, so the thing is, like, you do something like that, and then it would just be YouTube people. What the hell is this bullshit? Blah. This is stupid. What? Stick what you do, or something. You know,
that is true.
Here's
what?
No, I was just thinking about this right now. Here's my thing: Lil Nas X, great showman, terrible song maker, makes bad music. Fucking make a Christmas song. Lil Nas X Christmas song.
He did or he didn't?
No, he should.
Okay, yeah. That's genius, by the way. Because the name's right there, dude. Lil Nas Xmas. Like,
A Lil Nas Xmas. Here we go.
It's right there, dude.
There's his album name for sure.
He could be giving Santa a blowjob or whatever.
Right? Yeah,
whatever
dude. Make it hardcore.
Doing on that video.
Like, yeah, make it hardcore for sure.
So you're saying that like he's doing covers, or he's straight up making a Christmas song, like he's playing Christmas beats and then rapping about his like blowjobs and stuff.
That one.
Okay,
that one.
Right. Not he's not covering anything.
No,
he's just straight rapping over Christmas
beats, and he has some sort of high concept.
Right.
High concept, like Montero style video where he's like fucking Santa.
Yeah, I don't know much, to be honest with you. I don't know much of his music for whatever reason, but I think that it would be great. I would like to see a younger-ish rapper doing crazy lyrics over beats of Christmas songs. I agree.
That would be pretty dope, honestly. Yeah. But again, that's not being played in households during.
Well, no. But and that's the beauty, I suppose. Even though I didn't think about it at first, but that would be the beauty of Thriller, I guess, is that Thriller was legitimately mainstream, and yet, like you guys said, a guy who was at the top of his game wrote a Halloween-ish song.
Here's the move. You do exactly what he did with Montero, actually, and you have the lyrics be tape. You have the lyrics be to where you could play him in a store, and then you just do an outrageous music video.
There you go. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, you could do that.
Right? Yeah, because they play Old Town Road in stores. Yeah. I've heard it.
Do they really? That's hilarious. By the way, you know what's funny? Music. God, I'm so sorry, Scott. I know this isn't what you were trying to talk about, but music in stores is such a funny concept. For a while, because it seems so corny and so dumb. And if you're working there, you just fucking are like, I heard this song 10 times.
Becomes the soundtrack to you losing your mind.
Right. But if it's not there, I don't know if Walmart started doing it finally, but one time for a little bit, at least a Walmart I went into at like midnight or 1 a.m. when they were still open 24 hours. I don't know if they are anymore or if they're back, but and there was no music, and that was way worse.
Yeah.
Way worse being at a Walmart at 1 a.m. and not having something playing in the background.
Yeah. Feels very like you're raiding a Walmart in some sort of post-apocalyptic universe.
Absolutely.
I'm not someone who gets like that, and I remember just going, I just want to get out of here. And yet if the music had been playing,
steps or people breathing, you need to play that song. You can't even play music super quiet.
Just the squeak of the wheels.
And in the day,
I'm caught in a Walmart. This is a nightmare. This sounds like there's no exit to this.
Right. No. And I would say in a day, it's one thing, but I worked a few different times at Meijer, like stocking groceries at midnight shift. And I would tell you that even though those songs, like you said, are like you're slowly madness and to these songs and losing your soul and this and that. Yeah. I would still rather have that than nothing. Now, you should be allowed to wear earplugs in reality, but that's a whole other story. But if you can't do earplugs, even if you hear the same 5 songs in your 8-hour shift, I'd still rather have them than nothing.
All right, so going from talking about
literal hell to metaphorical hell.
Metaphysical hell.
Metaphysical. All right.
Sure. Yeah, because I was going to say, the demonic grocery store to demon segue.
Demons themselves.
Actually, it makes sense to me in some ways.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so I wanted to do this episode on the 7 Princes of Hell, because I thought that'd be kind of a fun topic. Yeah. And I'm curious, because I know Tyler has talked to me enough about this stuff before that he'd have pretty good idea. Do you have any idea how summoning demons works?
Not. I'm gonna say no because I'm not gonna give you some bullshit about
or something.
Right, I'm not gonna give you some bullshit. I know. Don't you just start sitting in a circle?
Even before you, pretty much that's the same thing, right?
You can sit in a circle and throw some rocks around and be like,
Supernatural, I feel like, is a good reference.
Yeah.
What was a good reference? I'm sorry. I might have talked to
Supernatural, the show Supernatural.
Oh, okay. Never watched that.
I've never watched it either.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're pretty good with like stuff he's told me about, like summoning demons and doing this stuff. They do in that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight up.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I've had to like do a decent amount of research because I kind of like performing magic. I want to know about that sort of stuff because it's relevant. But like, I'm not a fan of summoning demons. It's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Good call.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm on board with that.
If I'm not gonna say this in a patronizing way, but if it's a thing that people can do, I would be against that because I don't think I certainly don't trust humans with that power.
I mean, I feel like maybe even this might be a good like you could tell like your experience with something you perceive to be a demon. Right, that dream.
You talking about
stuff?
Yeah. I mean, like, okay. So here's the thing: is like
your example, like your. I feel like that fed into your reasoning of not wanting to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would say like I definitely had like a while ago. I was listening to this thing Hecate. She's like this old Greek underworld goddess or whatever, would kind of be comparable to a demon or whatever. I was listening to this podcast where they were talking about the steps you would take to summon her, and like literally I'm laying in bed and I'm like, I'm gonna have a dream about her tonight. I can
yeah.
And then like I did that night and I had like this dream where like whatever, like I mean whatever you can think about dreams or whatever, but she came to me and she's like wanted me to summon her. And
oh wow.
I was like,
and he kind of was on board.
I was kind of on board. I was talking to Tyler about
it. Was it because he thought you were going to get laid? Like, was she gonna?
No,
he felt like it was like for a creative project.
Okay.
We are mutually doing it to like benefit that thing.
Yeah, and like the thing that gave it away to Tyler was I was like, well, the first thing you do is you go out to like a 3-way crossroads, and he's like, wait, a crossroads? Isn't that's satanic?
Right.
Is the devil at the crossroads? And he's like, no, it won't be that bad. I'm like, I feel like don't do what she said. Like, don't do
I would agree.
Like that is how a horror movie starts. That is how, yeah, absolutely. That's how that's gonna go.
So I ended up being like, I'm like, okay, like that's fine. Like we won't do it. Like whatever. And like, a couple of days later, like I had a couple of nights in a row where I had some of the most terrifying nightmares I've ever had in my life.
God, that freaks me out. I hate to say it, like because of this. Yeah. You're one of the people that like I couldn't go down a line of things you do for that alone because I do believe that it would go to that place, and I can't handle bad dreams, man. I don't like them. At 37, if I have a bad dream, I will fucking turn, and I don't know what turning lights on, by the way. I don't know at 37 what I think that's going to do, but if I have a really bad dream, I will then like turn lights on in my room and sit there and I'll try to fall asleep.
Yeah.
But I won't be able to sometimes.
You have a cat, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, because this is the one thing I would say is like a total game changer to me with that is if you have an animal.
Huh.
Then, because if I have an animal, if I have a cat or a dog with me in the room, I can fall right back asleep.
Well, he doesn't. My cat doesn't always sleep with me. In fact, he never used to up until the last year. So it's not normal that he'd be with me necessarily.
You can also grab him out from wherever he's at in your room and close the door, which I've also done.
Yeah. Well, God, you know how cats are, dude. My cat, if he wanted to come up there, he'll be there. If you had to drag him and then I close the door, then he'll just go right to the door. Meow, meow.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to be there. You know what I mean?
Because he gets his choice, man.
Yeah, that is the problem with you have a dog anytime.
Yeah, oh yeah, boom. You know.
Okay, he's like, I love you so much. Yeah. I'll protect you from the demons.
Yeah. So anyway,
scary dreams.
So I just had super like it would be like I'd be in the middle of a dream and then she would show up just screaming at me from any sort of like reflective.
Jesus Christ. I'm telling you this. I'm such a pussy when it comes to like I don't watch scary movies, for example. I don't watch them. almost ever. I've watched a few,
do, but reluctantly.
But like, if I watch a movie, dude, I'm telling you, like, let's say I was at a friend's house. This would not happen anymore, but let's just say I was at a friend's house and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna watch this whatever scary movie," and I do for some reason. If I come home that night, dude, and I will like sit in my driveway and like make sure all the garage door is open, make sure I have everything with me, and I will fucking run into the house. Not one thing has ever happened in my neighborhood in 20 years, but for some reason, I'll fucking sit there and run into the house just because I watched a movie. And so, like,
I get that phantom run. Like, I've had it where, like, I'm leaving a dark room, and I'm just like, oh God, I gotta just run a little bit until I get in the light.
And by the way, what is it?
There's something behind me, but there's nothing behind me.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, like, at night, to this day, at night, by the way, I can walk outside. It's weird. I can be camping and walk around a campground kind of and be okay. I still don't necessarily like look out windows at night. And if I'm in the basement and the fucking power goes out, there's not a scarier thing in my life to me than if I'm in my basement and the power goes out. It would be worse by far than anywhere else in the house. And I don't understand it, dude. In reality, I don't think that there's something down there. I mean,
you're underground, man. That's where the dead live.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's so funny how fear works too, because like the way I am, there is not a single horror movie I couldn't watch by myself
right
at 2 o'clock in the morning. None of that shit bugs me. I can't do true crime documentaries. Like dumb shit, like forensic files or something.
Well, you could argue that's more realistic, though.
Me out.
You could argue that's more real, though. That's actually what he should be scared about, because you find out what humans.
Like the narrator in my head was like, the last thing we know is he was watching this show.
And by the way, I will say, when it comes to like the Conjuring things, you know, for people who are like, I have a person I know who's uber religious, and you think that you have a feeling that people think like, oh, you're uber Christian, you're not gonna believe in, you know, this, and he's like, oh, I 100% believe that there's evil forces out there that if people decide to dive into, they can ring up. You know what I mean? Like, but you know what I'm saying? How some Christians would be so like, nope, not even real, not a thing. Yet they believe in the angels and the God, but they don't believe in any of the evil.
Most Christians I've met, well, I've met a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses because that's what I grew up as, but all of them straight up believe in demons.
Okay. I wasn't sure. See, I thought that was maybe
demons are real, just as real as angels.
Okay. That was my misjudgment.
Were more real because they're the ones who can actually mess with the material world.
Okay. So totally my miscall now. I thought it would have been the opposite, but okay, my bad.
Well, okay, and this is kind of interesting, like just because you're bringing this up, like if somebody practices demon magic, they're either like honestly completely off the deep end, where they're just they're doing this shit and they're seeing themselves as some sort of servant of the demon or something. Like that'll be a typical thing. Or the other alternative is like Solomonic magic, which is literally based on like King Solomon supposedly captured a ton of demons and shit.
Okay.
Which
King Solomon captured is like the gold dude, right? The guy who can turn things. Midas.
No, not King Midas.
Yeah. It was the baby. Who was that?
Yeah, cutting the baby.
Cutting the baby.
That's King Solomon. Wise King Solomon.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's got 1 or 2 appearances in the Bible, and he is all over old grimoire shit. I mean, he's a huge figure in that.
That's crazy. Yeah. I did not know he was trapping demons.
Yeah. Okay. So
you heard it here first, folks.
Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
I think
did you know? Did you know?
No, I didn't.
Trapping demons.
I didn't know it either.
We heard it here first.
We heard it here first.
And here's my thing, like, too, with that is one reason that I am not a fan of demon magic in general, too. It never seems to work out well for the person long term.
No. Why would you
I would
to a really evil, like, malevolent fucking thing?
Yeah.
Or you trapped a really scary thing.
Well, here's the thing, coming from a very obviously not trying to think, can't think of the word, but a very novice person's opinion on that.
Yeah.
It's almost to me like bad guys in old 80s corny movies and TV shows, right? Like, what is the end game for Snake in Ninja Turtles, right? Is it Snake? Not Snake. Shredder. What's the end game? They always say destroy the world. For what reason? And so my point is, for something like stuff like this, it's like, it's one thing if you're doing a little kind of like, oh, I'm trying to like give myself some gold. But when you're going down the road of like trying to legit conjure evil up, where do you think it's going for yourself? I don't understand how you think this is going to end up positive. Like the evil spirit is going to say, thank God you did all this. You brought me here. I was able to do my shit. You know, you're up here with me now, buddy.
Yeah, like, there's a little bit of good in me, and here's my little bit of good.
Well, see, here's the thing: is you're either gonna have something like Luciferianism, where you think like I'm a servant or a representative of this thing, so we're on the same side. Or
you're definitely a servant, though, more than a representative. I would imagine.
Or it's the King Solomon thing, which is literally Solomonic magic is literally like capturing a demon and then forcing it to do the thing that you want. Is the idea?
That's a monkey's paw.
Yeah,
it's like
it seems like a very high reach, man. I think you have a better chance of winning the lottery than capturing a demon and making him do your bidding.
Exactly. Like you can capture a demon to actually make it do what you want. Yeah. That's a whole other story.
Well, and my thing is, like, one thing I kind of come back to with all of that is that, like, I don't interact with people like that in my daily life. I don't like to bully and force people into things.
Right.
Rather be like,
but not like an entity of evil.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'll do that with people.
Yeah,
I'm not like I'm gonna subjugate this person.
That's like way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so
those are the two things you really can do with it.
I ordered over easy eggs the other day at a restaurant. And Rick brought back scrambled, and I was honestly just like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. I'm not gonna sit there.
What were you gonna do? Summon a demon and like
yeah. I love there's old grimoire called the Testament to Solomon that like a lot of that is based on, which is literally he gets this ring that can capture demons, and he's whipping it at demons like a Pokeball. Just like forcing them to do what he wants.
That's hilarious. Did it work out?
Yeah. Did he capture him in there?
No, because eventually fucking Asmodeus, who's one of the 7 princes of hell we'll get into, sends some like Persian woman to him, and he's like, I really want to fuck this girl. And she's like, all right, well, you need to make a sacrifice to Asmodeus, and then
there's a saying they have on, and I'm sure they didn't create it, but they say it a lot on my on the sports.
So he released all the demons to get laid.
He didn't release him. He lost his divine power. Okay.
They say this on the sports show I listen to locally here in Detroit, and I'm sure they didn't create it, but it's something they say a lot of times in sports stories when something like this comes up, and you'll know, and it does pertain, I promise you. And it is, they don't say it on the radio, but basically they're saying pussy is undefeated. Like it's undefeated. It's unfucking defeated. And it doesn't mean it's sometimes somebody doesn't maybe be like, no, not this time.
But they're not the ones you talk about.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy though too, because it's like, yes, you know what? Pussy is undefeated in my life because I'm not a king with 50 fucking concubines. Like,
right.
How the fuck? That's the thing that always blows my mind is I'm like, oh, you're getting a ton of pussy on the regular from a ton of different people, and it's still undefeated.
Dude, I know. That's it actually seems to gain strength because then they're rich and they're famous, and it's like they're just beside themselves that they can't just get it any way they want, or that some girl just wouldn't want to, in the elevator, you just want to blow them right there. So they're like, my God, and then so it's like, anyway, point is, they say that on my sports station regularly, and here you are talking about something from, was it real or mythical? I don't know, but thousands of years ago, and it's like, pussy always wins.
No matter what, mythical or not, pussy always wins, dude.
Okay, so the first Prince of Hell, which also last thing about this too, but like if you were to summon these things, if you were to do that, you typically would not go to one of these Princes of Hell because they're not gonna fucking have anything to do with you. They don't.
Gotcha. They're too big.
Exactly. You go down, it would be like trying to contact the CEO of Walmart.
Gotta talk to an intern first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you gotta go talk to the bag boy. He'll go get his manager.
Right. Man, that'd be a hell of a job for a Karen to get a demons manager.
Oh my god! I think they can do it.
I think a Karen is the one person who should maybe feel like she does have a chance.
Yeah,
to control that thing.
Seriously, yeah. If you are a 40-year-old, very self-satisfied white lady, give magic a shot.
What an insane movie that would be if a Karen just had a subordinate fucking demon.
I think that could be a TV show, actually.
Just like my demon in my attic, Karen's demon.
Yeah.
Karen and Beelzebub.
Karen and Beelzebub. I could totally see that. I mean, I'd watch it.
Right. If it was done right. If it was done right.
Yeah, I'd check it out. You just have this like wimpy little demon getting his ass kicked by a white lady.
Suburban white lady, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first prince of hell would be Lucifer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Big hitter.
Guys.
I've heard of that dude.
Top dog, right? Top dog.
Yeah, him and Satan and Beelzebub are all.
Aren't they the same?
They're not the same person?
The same?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
No, in fact,
Beelzebub, they all seem like the same name.
They get mixed up all the time.
Tyler, we heard it here first because I didn't know that.
That's our new catchphrase. He does
we heard it here first.
We heard it here first.
Yeah,
I like that actually.
Yeah.
I like it. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, was already taken, so
Scott's taking it.
He's the okay, here's the thing too. It's actually kind of fun. Like, if you get a good translation of the Bible, they will actually separate like Satan being the adversary of Yahweh or whatever, and being the villain of the Bible is actually a pretty new concept from like the late 1700s, early 1800s. Yeah. Before that, like, it was just
the dude who ran like the underworld, right?
It's demons, just demons. Like, and it would be different. Like,
but there wasn't like any head demon before that.
Not really. Okay. Like, because that's the thing is, it would be like Satan. You know, he comes to tempt Jesus. He comes to fuck with Job. Him and God just slapping Job around.
God, man, Job.
Job's life is
that should be a movie. Now, dude, speaking of a movie, honest to God, there should be. I'd like to see our attempt at a realistic portrayal of what that dude's life was like. Because dude, it's funny to It's funny to read those stories, but if you can see it like in a 2-hour, like 2.5 hour thing of like what that would have felt like for a dude.
I heard this guy tell a joke that actually was pretty hilarious. That like through Job's whole thing, his wife never was murdered. And like, she must have been so terrible that both God and Satan were just like, nah, he can keep her. Like, that's also one of the worst things ever.
They're like, that counts as one.
Like 2 groups of children die.
Yeah,
like groups of children.
But they keep his wife. That's a good point, dude. Because if they thought, did they really love each other? By the way, if he really loved her, wouldn't they know it and be like, dude, this will fucking test him? That's a good point.
Now he doesn't even have somebody to scrape off his boils. He's got to do it himself.
Right.
Yeah, that's a real test. They're like, she must have been just the worst.
Well, again, I love this idea of a Job movie. I would want to get like, honestly, you get the right person too. You get like, I would want like one of those like kind of independent art film guys like Darren Aronofsky or David Lynch or somebody like that.
Ooh, yeah. He could make a kick-ass Job movie.
Yeah.
I don't know those names, but I do like the concept that I would like it to be an independent kind of. You're right, like an independent film.
Requiem for a Dream?
Yes, I didn't.
The guy made Requiem for a Dream. Let him make Job.
Okay, yes, I'm in.
That's too sad. It's gonna really fucking pull at you.
I mean, it needs to.
Yeah, it has to, because it's Job. His story is fucking tragic.
He's so famous that honestly, people that don't even know anything about there's like a few things people know in Christianity, even if you don't practice it at all. And Job would probably be one of them. He'd be up there in things that people know the story of.
And that's one thing I loved about that Noah movie a while ago, to be honest, is like,
that movie was weird.
Yeah, okay, it was fucking weird. I wouldn't even call it good. No. I would even go so far as to say it's not good in any traditional sense.
Long.
But I want some weirdos making some Christian movies.
I'm okay with that.
Honestly, like, I'm on board with that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not a Mel Gibson on Catholic.
Yeah.
Torturing Jesus for 2 hours. Just some guy where you're like, I don't fucking know what he believes at all, but he's doing the Bible.
Yeah,
that would be good. I agree.
Job needs to be a movie. And how
can you imagine that if it wasn't an independent film? Let's say it went to mainstream, though. Imagine the trailer for Job. Like, you know what I mean? One man who, tested against all limits.
Yeah. Again and again and again.
Yeah, that could be the in the trailer again. You know what I mean?
David Cronenberg's Job. All the body horror, physical effects.
Yeah, just getting super big boils. Being real gross about it.
Be crazy, man.
This trailer sounds insane. Like, just having, like, God and Satan just be like, man, I can't believe he hasn't given up yet.
The fight for one man's soul.
The fight for one man's soul.
You don't even show God or Satan for the first like half of it. You just you follow Job and just everything's going wrong. He's
right.
in his mind or whatever, and then kind of like halfway through you zoom out to like
maybe you zoom out. If it's gonna be some weird guy too, you don't have to have it be straight up the story of Job. Maybe mix it up a little. Have them play poker over Job's life.
I'd like to see how Job's friends reacted to all these things. But did eventually his friends ever be like, "Yo, dude, I like you, but you're not invited over anymore, man."
If you like me, that's a problem with apparently God and Satan.
All right, like
the two most powerful entities we know of
seem to be centered around you, very strictly around you, dude. My house can't take it anymore.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, so Lucifer is...
You don't want to be Job's neighbor.
No. Or at least you want to be Job's hated neighbor. You don't want to be any emotional attachment. You need to cut that shit off immediately.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so I was going to say, Lucifer actually would be, if you get actual, like a lot of modern translations will just translate it as Satan, but it is actually a different name. And like the guy who comes down in the typical Genesis story and is like,
that's interesting.
And gets them to eat the apple and shit would be Lucifer. It would not be Satan.
Okay.
And he's they all rule over one of the 7 deadly sins. Because part of this idea is, and I know I've said this, like anytime I end up on a magical subject, I end up saying this, but like it's so fundamental to understanding any of this is like the whole hermetic axiom, as above, so below, as within, so without. Like basically, like the whole idea behind it is that these things exist externally, but they also exist within you. Because everything in the universe exists within you.
Okay.
And
sorry, go ahead.
Does that make sense?
You know what? You've explained it a few times, and I think I feel like I get it a little more each time. I will tell you, I'm sure when you first... It's just something that's way out of my normal zone. So I have to almost hear it a few times. You know what I'm saying?
It's essentially that we like even other entities and all that shit exists within us, so it's not always separate.
Yeah, I kind of think I get it, but like I said, I think that it's one of these things that certainly has taken a few times to even wrap my brain around it. Yeah, because it wasn't just a thing that I was aware of too much before.
Yeah, no, totally. But like, so he would rule over like pride. So like, it's kind of one of those things. It's funny, like summoning demons is its own thing, but like, in my opinion, at least, we all do fucking demon shit. Like anytime you're prideful, you're summoning the energy of Lucifer. You're working with that demon or whatever. But yeah, so he rules over pride. The second one is Mammon, who rules over greed. Which did you guys remember? Mammon's been brought up one time here before.
Mammon. No.
It was George H.W. Bush's nickname in Skull and Bones.
Jesus, dude. Wow.
Weird.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Weird that he was named after a demon.
Yeah.
And of greed, nonetheless.
Yeah, demon of greed, too.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Creepy.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Ugh. All that stuff is always like such, like it's clear that they're not even hiding it, I feel like. They're not even... They're just like, hey, this man's evil incarnate. He's fucking greedy as shit. And his name's the name of the demon that represents that.
Right.
And
Because he was the horniest one of the bunch.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
His whole horny thing. Horniest man in politics.
That was George Sr., right? That was the horniest man.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it back then, but it definitely makes sense now. Knowing that now, and then knowing about the Ted Copperfield or whatever, or not Ted Cop. Yeah. All that grabbing ass.
David Copperfield.
David Copperfield grabbing asses at 80 makes sense now. It makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah. Do you know, I would say George W. Bush was more alcoholic and into cocaine.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him too much being super horny. Probably letting his dad down.
Or at least not not any, he doesn't, not any issues that have made it to that level.
No. Okay, so the third prince of hell is Asmodeus. We brought up a little while ago, because he also plays a big role in that whole Testament of Solomon. He rules over lust and
so them ruling over this, what does that entail? Like, if you're like invoking that shit, they're present, or is it like they will take people to hell if they do that shit too much? They'd be the one to take them.
Yeah. Okay. So if you were let's say you wanted to fuck a married woman.
Okay.
And then maybe you would want to summon Asmodeus, because Asmodeus could put that lust in her heart.
Okay. That makes sense.
But also, that is within you. Anybody who, say, cheats on their spouse would be doing demon work with Asmodeus. Basically.
Gotcha.
Cosmology.
Yep.
I loved, the other story he was in a big part of, which I love, man, sometimes, we were just talking about with Job, the Bible logic sometimes. So fucking weird. Because, there's a book called the Book of Tobit that Asmodeus was also in. And he's basically, constantly killing this woman's husbands to where she has, 7 different husbands that all die. And this angel decides to send somebody to help her. And it decides to, send somebody to help her by basically, this guy was burying the dead according to the Sabbath, and some new king came in. So the king yells at this guy and tells him if he does it again, he'll be killed. And the angel's nah, you have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And so he's okay, and so he decides he's I'm gonna fucking die, so I need to talk to my son.
Yeah.
So he talks to his son, and he's hey, I got this guy a couple of towns over. I have a line of credit with him. This was money that was always going to be for when I die. Probably not going to be around too much longer. So, go get that.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yep.
And so that guy goes to go get the money. And, halfway through, the angel appears to this guy's son and is hey, actually, you're going to go talk to this girl. And
Here we go, dude.
Resulting in Asmodeus being exorcised or whatever, but just weird Bible logic.
Another pussy.
A chain of events that led it so that the demon would go away.
Yeah, basically that.
Another pussy situation here.
Another pussy situation.
Winning overall.
Undefeated. Yeah, he needed the girl to banish the demon.
Well, wasn't it mainly just so he wouldn't go? I thought maybe I was confused. I was assuming the son went to go get his money, and he sent a girl, basically to distract him from getting the money. Or is that wrong?
The angel sent the girl to take him on a different path, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then he doesn't get his money. He ends up just going to this girl who's well, my last 7 husbands have died, and he's this angel's telling me I gotta marry you. So
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, so the fourth prince of hell is Leviathan. You guys know anything about Leviathan offhand?
I know
I don't.
Name by the sea monster.
Mm-hmm.
The sea monster, right?
Yeah.
I have no previous knowledge that I know.
It's a big squid monster in the sea.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, if you have the whole as above, so below sort of thing, your subconscious is the sea.
Okay.
So it's vast, it's unknowable, or the ocean, I should say. It's watery. And he rules over envy, but also like his whole big thing is that he's kind of represents what lurks in the subconscious underneath your like conscious thoughts.
Okay, gotcha.
Like, you have like intrusive thoughts or something like that, like
okay,
like a lot of that energy, or like it's in. That's weird. That's unsettling.
Or anything that you're kind of trying to hide in your subconscious that you push down and repress. Like,
okay, gotcha. Like just just thoughts you have or things you maybe have done or something.
Yeah.
That you just completely repress. That's the Leviathan's domain.
Yeah.
That's its whole thing. Okay.
Yeah, basically that.
Do people ever use it for anything? What could you use the Leviathan for?
You could use the Leviathan, I mean, ideally to, if you were to embrace, like, all of the dark stuff inside of your psyche or something like that. Or if you wanted to deal with the dark stuff inside of your psyche, because that's the thing, is there is a place for, like, demon work in psychology. Like, most things will have some sort of a shadow work sort of component where, like, you could, if you were a very repressed person and you needed to deal with that, you might want to summon Leviathan and bind him as like a psychological way of dealing with repression that you have.
Oh, okay.
And shit like
so
that.
It can be a benefit, but like I still feel like that's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
That's kind of, you know what's funny, and I don't know if I don't think I guess if you haven't repressed stuff, you would maybe you wouldn't know. I feel like even if it's repressed, don't people sometimes, even if they've repressed stuff, do you think they still kind of know they did it or not really? But like, that's really interesting to me because like I don't think, for example, in my life, I mean, are you driving around one day and you're like, fuck that guy in the car, you know, whatever. But like, I don't feel like I've had any things that I've majorly repressed like thoughts or actions. Life. But I just always wondered, maybe I have, though. You know what I mean? Maybe I have, and I just
think
wonder
everybody
how that
does
works.
to a degree, but I think all of us, if you were to make a scale, like we're three very not repressed sort of people when it comes to we're three people that are more likely to be like to say some weird shit.
Yeah, or maybe
shit out into the open.
Or it might have been there, like in your memory, like, because I would say, like, for example, memory's odd. You know, I have things that I 100% remember, but you don't think I haven't thought about them in 5 years. Someone goes, "Hey, remember when we were at this thing?" I'm like, "Holy fuck, dude, I forgot about that." But it was there, right? And so you're right. When it comes to us, as far as repressing, mostly my inkling is on things like this or in comedy is to, if those repressions happen, tell people about them because I think they're usually funny. So,
exactly. Yeah. Which is the healthy way of actually dealing with it. Yeah. Like
wow.
That's a good
That's probably one of the few things I do that's healthy as far as coping. So that's good.
Because you think about because that's the thing is you say like repressed memories in one way, but then there is just also like I'm sure you know plenty of people like this kind of growing up in the suburbs and shit like that. It's like, they hate their job, they hate their wife.
Like real repression.
and they just shove it down all day.
Yeah, that's a great example that you're right, that I can't, someone living through it where they're just like, whatever, this is what I do.
Or I hate everything. I hate everything.
Yeah. Luckily now, you know, I'm not a millionaire. So, and I have some things I pay for by living that lifestyle. But luckily I've always, other than a few jobs I hated, I was always building towards something of that. So yeah, I've never had to have that like legit soul crushing thing that I didn't want to do, and there was nothing else
settling in.
Yeah. The great thing about working like low level wage jobs too is if it affects your dignity too much, you go, you know what, I'm leaving. I'll go.
Yeah, you can, or just don't.
Job. And just start the process over again.
Right. My usually way of handling it was just not working very good. And then
but that's essentially doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Not like repressing it. It's like, fuck this job. I'm just going to do a bad job.
I always used to say I didn't want to get to the point where people could be like, oh, he knows. Like if you have a question about your job, he knows. I'm like, oh, I've been here too long then. I need to move on. I've been here too long.
I don't want to be the person who knows.
Oh my God. I always have that like moment too where I come in and I'm like, nah, you know what? Like, I gotta be here anyway. I'm gonna be like a good worker when I'm here.
Yeah.
They'll respect that, and this will be a good situation. And then it always turns. Like,
I know. You know what? I tried.
I'm like, you know what? Yeah, fuck this place.
I did have times, by the way, in my life where I did like when I met you guys, we talked about it last week a little bit with our past. But when I moved out to Holland and I got my first radio gig, it was only 10 to 12 hours a week minimum wage. So I had to have a few other jobs, and I was very happy, and I knew I had this other thing. So I actually did, do a good job because I needed it. But it was also, but it was funding a dream though. That's the problem. Yeah. If you're not funding a dream, that's when you can get in trouble, and it can be really soul crushing and whatnot.
Dude, save it up for this trip and stuff. It's funny. I've been my whole life like I will not work over 40 hours a week. I will just absolutely refuse it.
You're done. You're off the clock. 40 hours hits. You're walking off.
Exactly. Nope, this is not going to be my life or whatever. Saving up for this trip we're doing has been the one time I've been like, I'll work fucking 50 or 60 hours a week, and it feels right. And it feels good. It feels like there's a plan.
Like, dude, that's how when I do the same thing. I sit there and be like, certain times, like I can work longer, and I'm like, sometimes I don't want to, but sometimes I'm like, $10 more is $10 more, man. That's a meal sometime next year. So,
and it's $10 more towards a plan. It's not $10 more towards
right.
I have $10 more.
So anyway, on our end, we've all kind of lived, I think, a life for the most part. We usually it's something we were chasing, so that helps a lot. If you don't have that, it can be. I don't know how people do it, to be honest with you. I hate to say it. Now, some people like other jobs. Like I used to say, for example, I used to work at Meijer, like I said, overnights. Dude, I hated overnights. There was people that liked working overnights. They didn't care. They didn't need whatever. They liked that hours. They liked the non-hassle of the shift. So God bless them. But if you're working jobs that you just hate and you just keep going, I don't know how people do it. I've never chosen to live that life, but I don't know how people do it.
Kitchen industry, and so many people who just fully commit to something that they admit that they hate.
Right.
But then also be like, you gotta care about this. And it's like, why? You've already discussed it. Like, you have no goal. You have nothing outside of this.
Right.
And if this is the end, it's very upsetting for you.
Like, if you're trying to be a chef or own your own business one day, even it doesn't have to be art or anything. But
goals.
That's different. But if you're just there, dude. Ugh.
Yep. Yeah, if your goal is to be a professional chef, it's like, okay, that's dope. Like, you're working your way up to that. But if you're just a line cook and you're like, I've made it, like, okay.
I feel bad. Anyway. Oh, well. And no judgment, dude. Everyone lives their life in a way.
Yeah, I worked it. I just never had the mentality that was the end all be all.
Yeah.
Same. We're all. That's why we all get along. Honestly, probably also. We're all like that, I feel.
And I would say even having the mentality that it's the end all be all, if you're like, you know what, I'm making enough money, I do what I want to do in my free time, like all of that. But like, man, I've never seen a happy person that's working 50 or 60 hours.
No.
In a kitchen or in a
misery incarnate.
Which is why, serving industry has some of the
totally.
Which is why like restaurant industry has some of the highest level of substance abuse. But anyway. It's literally right up there with like doctors and like surgeons, because surgeons, it's just such a stressful thing, I think. Yeah. But anyway.
Okay. So the fifth prince of hell is Beelzebub, who rules over gluttony, Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies. Why call him Lord of the Flies?
You ever heard Beelzebub called Lord of the Flies?
No, why?
I have not.
Lord of Children or...
Yeah, well, there are some ancient drawings of him that are actually of like a demonic fly, but more often than not, he like has like flies hovering around.
That kind of makes sense. Like he stinks because he's all gluttonous.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That makes sense. Like just some dude who just eat. A gluttonous person usually you assume is someone who might like eat to excess, drink to excess. So eventually,
like a whale.
Yeah.
And gluttony in a weird sort of way is this like state of decay.
Yeah, it's not healthy, obviously, at all.
Yeah. And where you're not growing, you're growing.
Right. It's like as humans Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, you're right. For like as humans, like when we're in our 20s, you can you can get away with that. But like as a human body, for example, if you live that gluttonous lifestyle into your 30s and 40s, it is not like you said, it's a decay. You're really Again, you can kind of get away with it in your 20s, but at a certain point, if you keep living that lifestyle, you're right. You're just dying every day what you're doing to yourself.
Yeah. I would even argue in your 20s, it's like,
I know
you're growing. You're still like,
you're doing it then. I'm just saying you can get away with it. You're younger.
You can't in your 30s and 40s.
Yeah, in your 20s, you've got to really, really try to fuck up.
Yeah.
Right. Which actually, by the way, I've realized recently something that pisses me off about that is that, like, dude, I spent so much of my early 20s just getting loaded. You know, it could be a Tuesday night. It could be whatever. It could be I would dog sit for somebody and I just get trapped, you know, just buy 30 packs and just drink all day for 3 days in a row, dog sitting, right? Nothing had beaten me down yet. None of this bullshit. And then it's like, then you get older and it's like, no, crap. I go to the doctor and maybe I have a high blood pressure or whatever. And you're like, maybe I need to control this a little bit. And that's when you fucking need it. Like, I wish I could go back to myself in my 20s and be like, 100%. Dude, no, not now. Save it for your 30s and 40s, my man.
Seriously, like, I spent most of my 20s eating fast food. And now if I have it like once or twice in a week, I feel like I'm trash.
Yeah,
and it's like
garbage.
Why could
But don't you almost wish you could do it now when you're just like you're on the run? You're just fucking. I gotta get going. Let me just get a 4 and 4, you know, or whatever.
Yep. or just propel that healthy lifestyle in my 20s into being like super healthy and ripped.
Yeah, there you go too.
30s, you know what I mean?
There you go
like,
too. There you go. But it's just
you know what
that's
I
life.
feel bad for as a fat kid.
I know.
Like they never had a chance.
Yeah, they got this demon inside them for sure.
That's a great point, dude. Like it's really a bummer.
Yeah,
because their whole
their choice,
right? Their whole life they have to work so much harder. Like, dude, you're right. Like for me, like I was one of those dudes until I was fucking in my 30s before I couldn't eat a $5 pizza and be like, oh shit, that's not good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no, absolutely. It's like, man, I'm going to have heartburn and it's going to suck tonight every single time.
But they had to always deal with that. Deal with the idea that they should be, you know, this thought of I should be eating healthier. Like, dude, you're fucking 12 and you're already big. It's not because you're totally a piece of shit. It's like you just got unlucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, so
the sixth
demon, sixth demon, Prince of Hell.
Prince of Hell
is Satan.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, who rules over Wrath.
So is this ranking going like best to worst, or is it just?
I think these are just seven, right? There's not a ranking. I would assume.
Seven. There's not really a ranking.
All right.
Yeah. It comes out of I don't know, a couple of old grimoires that kind of all list them in the same order. But you got Satan, Wrath. Okay, I kind of thought like.
So in the end, is Satan specifically anything over anything? Like a lot of these, you said like gluttony or this or that. Does Satan have a specific
Wrath? Wrath, yeah.
Oh, Wrath. Sorry, did you say? I'm sorry, you may have just said it there.
Angry, yeah. Well, and the other part of him is too the same way. Like, he kind of rules over the material plane too, which is
okay.
Like,
that makes sense.
Like they'll kind of say all of the material plane is satanic to a degree because it's like his domain, and you have like that's one reason to me too. I've never been a fan of like I don't know, Satanism really rubs me the wrong way. Not a fan of it. And part of it kind of works perfectly because like most Satanists are really like atheists.
Yeah.
Like, they don't believe in any of it. They're just like either doing it for the lulz or something.
right.
Doing it for the living.
I love that idea, by the way. Doing it for the lulz.
Yeah. Are you a full-on Satanist? Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like doing the edgelord whatever like. That whole thing, but it kind of works perfect because like not only believing in the material plane, it actually be like a very satanic sort of worldview.
Yeah,
so like it kind of works.
That's no, I get that, and that's if he has this thing with materialism, that makes more sense to me that he became the main guy that we all think he's just Satan. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
as humans, it's kind of easy. Like, if that's what he is, it makes sense to me that he became kind of known as the most famous. Because to me, he's the most famous of these seven. If you're not a person who's really looking into these,
totally.
Definitely.
Well, and part of it is too that like just everything gets stupider the last couple hundred of years. I feel like, and so it's like, okay, well, let's cut all these other guys out. You got the good guy, you got the bad guy.
Like, yep.
Right.
You don't need 7 demons. It's Satan.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Out the middleman.
Okay, so the 7th is Belphegor, Sloth.
Belphegor. That's a hell of a name. Belphegor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, okay, can I just say too, like, man, like having to Google these names, pretty much every single one of these have some sort of like metal band.
Of course, dude. Of course.
Of course they do.
I'm sure they're all great, by the way.
I'm sure they're all very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more accurate.
It's one of those things, dude. You know,
screaming, incoherent yelling.
Good for them. Again, you know,
riffs.
God bless them. I don't, you know, do you? You know, I've just, once you get into like this dark death heavy metal shit, I don't get it.
I'm
but
sure they're named after.
Yeah.
They're all named after demons.
I went through a phase as a teenager where I tried to get into it. And just like, I could do something melodic like Cradle of Filth or Slipknot, something that's like, got a little bit of like a beat to it. It's got.
But if it just becomes screaming, to me, and it's like, and are they even playing instruments in some of these things? Like, I mean,
I'm sure they are, because like I feel like, especially doing guitar stuff, weirdly enough, metal people are doing crazy shit on guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing, is because metal fans will always be like, "Oh shit, this is so difficult. This is so," and I'm like, it just sounds like a wall of noise.
It does sound like a wall of noise.
Right. I mean, okay.
4 infants just like.
Right.
A monkey with a drum.
Get 4 infants, a bunch of cocaine, and a couple of instruments, and I feel like this is what they'd come up.
But you know what's funny about that is like you could say that also if you got into like real hardcore actual punk, not like pop punk. And I like some real punk bands. And you could, you know, if you didn't know what you're listening to, you could do the same thing there with like 2-minute songs that are just, you know what I mean?
What band would you say fall under that?
God, you know, I don't listen to as much real punk as, but I mean, a lot of that 80s, 90s, you know, 90s stuff, like trying to think like Descendants and back when Pennywise was real punk, you know, they kind of went emo a little bit, but you know, I'm trying to think stuff like that. I can't think of that, you know, I'm not as into the real punk. I still like overall music that at least somewhat sounds like music still, like even like an ant. Like, I'm sorry. I like for example, I don't know how much you know about Anti-Flag, but like Anti-Flag I like, and it's like, yes, they have the fast punk sound and they're real quick, but there's still lyrics to me that I can at least somewhat hear and stuff.
Like Leftover Crack, like I can deal with
like I'm trying to think.
Leftover Crack, not aware. I've heard it here first. Leftover Crack. What?
They're like Anti-Flag. They're in that same
dirty name
genre.
Dirty.
It should be.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it really
not taking a shower was a music form.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Perfect for me. But so I like showering. I like rinsing. I like sitting in the shower. We've discussed this before. I like standing in the shower. I like the water coming over me.
It's right there.
It's just a pain.
It's in front of you.
Well, I had 2 weddings. This has nothing to do with anything, but I recently, you know, officiated over 2 weddings. And for those weddings, I remember thinking the few days before, I'm like, okay, dude, I got to actually wash this hair, man. I can't just go. And so
Good for you. I'm glad
wash
you
my
did.
hair
I thought this story was going to be like, I went to 2 weddings, officiated them, and didn't shower either.
No, I like, dude, I had a plan where I'm like, a few days before, I'm like, dude, you know, like the things on Friday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Thursday, you gotta shower, you gotta wash your hair, dude. You gotta wash your hair.
I don't know if you can relate to this at all, like, because we have 2 very different sorts of hair. Like, so I don't know, but like I know for me, there's this weird thing, especially when my hair gets longer. It looks like shit right after I've washed it, and it looks like shit when it's gone 2 or 3 days without washing. And if it's been
like
one day since I've
you know what?
I can fucking fit. It can move. Like it can do the thing it's supposed to do. Like,
I'm not trying to say this in any way, but and I know last year with the COVID, people dealt with this a lot, but it's been a long time since I've had to have a job, quote unquote. And I told literally this is what I told my dad the other day, as like I was talking about those weddings, and I was like, because my dad still will comb his hair and stuff, and you know we're on vacation still, and he's combing his hair. I never fucking do shit to my hair unless there's a reason to. And I told him, I'm like, dude, I'm like, getting my hair a little bit ready for those weddings made me realize I didn't know the last time I don't look in mirrors.
Yeah.
I just don't fucking look in the mirror because I don't do anything to my hair unless I'm like trying to do. Now, back in my day, I used to like if I go to the club or go to like a punk rock show, I used to have a little bit of a mohawk, or if I go to the club, I'd kind of do the jelly, dirty hair thing. But since of COVID, I stopped going to bars for like a while and all this shit.
Yeah,
I don't even know what my hair is just whatever it is.
See, I'm so weird with that. Like, I can't, even if I'm completely by myself, I will just catch myself in the mirror. Like, I just went and, like, peed or something like that.
Yeah.
And washed my hands. I was like, oh, you gross piece of shit.
I have done it a little bit a few times when I was a little heavier than I wanted to be. I have done that. But it's, like, only when I'm taking a shower and I'm like, oh, damn. Yeah, that's a little bigger than I want it to be, but like I don't look in the mirror that often. I just don't do anything with my hair, so I don't know what my hair looks like most of the time. But
fair enough.
Yeah,
anyway,
welcome to grooming talk.
I know from definite.
We sometimes talk about demons, mostly about grooming.
From three people who are not experts on grooming.
Not even close. Not even close.
But we have opinions.
Right. Oh, I got an opinion about anything if you ask. But so is that
eye for the straight guy?
Yeah. Straight eye for the straight guy.
Right.
Yeah. They got these things called combs. What's that about?
I swear to God, I was like, shit, I guess I should comb my fucking hair or something. I'm doing a wedding.
Welcome to Straight Eye for the Straight Guy. Here's jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
Every day, even at a wedding.
I don't even wear fucking jeans anymore, dude. It's sweatpants and fucking t-shirt or hoodie every day now.
Yeah.
You know what I've realized it even more so is like when I do my laundry recently, it's like, dude, I'm just doing the fucking same laundry I don't even do it every week. I do it about a week and a half. And all it is my 3 different sweatpants, a few t-shirts, a few hoodies, and socks and underwear and towels. And that's all.
Yeah. No,
I'm doing.
I feel that. The good thing is you can trick that. You can like convert that into like, actually, I'm minimizing for this.
Exactly. For the environment. It's for the environment.
And for the environment. Yeah.
There you go.
Nobody has a smaller carbon footprint than a guy with like 3 shirts.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's good stuff.
All right.
Is that good? Did you hit him?
Did you hit the last one?
Yeah. Belvagor.
Yeah.
What was okay? All right. I thought there was one.
He did him.
Yeah, we did it. We barely hit Belfagor, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he's a Lord of Sloth. He's fucking whenever.
Lazy.
Well, we got into metal bands. That's what happened. We started talking about metal bands because you brought up the typing in the names, and then we started making fun of metal. You know, as we should. For people like us, we certainly have the right to make fun of other people's art.
Yeah, we want to be inclusive, but if you like metal, don't listen to us.
Thanks for the recap, guys.
I was kidding. Please do.
Really appreciate the recap.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So who is it? It's Tyler next week, right? All right.
So we are going to be watching one of like keeping within the Halloween theme. I'm not a huge fan of super horror movies either, but I do like some whatever. We're watching Gremlins 2.
Oh Jesus!
And reviewing it for next week's episode.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen it. Have either of you seen it?
Never.
Okay.
I haven't even seen Gremlins 1.
Gremlins 1? You might want to watch Gremlins 1.
Damn it, I gotta watch 2 movies?
You don't have to.
2 movies, I don't.
You might be a little lost.
No, maybe I will. I'll probably look into it.
They're good movies.
You might be a little lost even if you watched Gremlins 1.
You wouldn't be. They're not. You've never seen it
I'm
either.
sure I can squeeze. I'm sure I can
can
squeeze 2 movies into my busy week.
Okay. Well, I would highly advise it. I guess if you haven't, but he's seen that recently. I know you haven't seen Gremlins 2.
I haven't seen Gremlins 2 in a long time. I remember seeing it when I was younger.
That's why I'm picking 2.
Fucking weird.
Okay.
And if the listeners want to, watch it and listen to us, that'd be awesome. Like if you want to comment or whatever, essentially we're going to do the review. So if you watch it beforehand, you'll get more out of the episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds good, man. That was a fun episode. I like learning that weird stuff that Scott knows about.
Absolutely.
He's a person that we're gonna, like we said, we're not gonna try to talk too much about next year. We're gonna put these shows how they are, but I really actually do look forward to like learn for someone who just knows so much stuff about stuff I've never looked into. I look forward to finding, because I'll probably, honestly, Tyler might know you enough at this point that he, bugs him. For me, for at least at the beginning, I could see myself asking you a lot of questions randomly.
I don't think it would bug me. I just listen. I find it incredibly interesting.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Lucky enough, if you get me on the subject, I will enthusiastically talk.
Well, we'll have a lot of time to kill at periods, so I'm sure it'll work out.
Great conversations, anyway. So.
Yeah, so it'll be.
See how long we can string that along on the road.
Right.
Kill you, start losing our minds.
Shut the fuck up about magic.
Okay, I guess. I don't know if you want to wrap it up or do you want?
Yeah, you.
Just review us. Review us 5 stars.
Get some free stuff.
Send us a screenshot. Get some free stuff. We mentioned it at the
beginning.
Follow
us, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Thanks for checking out 2 Hippies, 1 Drunk.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.